Right, so apparently the murals on the wall outside tell you how to do it. I suppose, well, if I remember right, when I read the Habit's Mind, it said it's the same murals you see on the wall all over. So that might have been a fucking clue to say, oh, look at the walls to get the answer. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. Let's see if I can find these fucking murals on the wall along the way then. You lot stay back up there. Okay, we'll just use reading of wiki knowledge. I was partly right. I got that bit right. The city on fire is followed by the tidal wave. And then it's a barren shore. And then it's a flourishing city that's been rebuilt afterwards. If I perform the sign of the tide. Right, should I release these people or not? Ah, fuck it, as a lever there, I'm a video game player, I have to pull it. Right, point the object toward the open gate. Fuck it. Let's not hope they go up there and start killing folk for us. I've killed most everybody in this place anyway. Echoing voices reach your ears. The words are unintelligible, but you can make it laugh like crying and cheers. Soon after, shouts or alarm resonate in distance. With a click, the machine releases its hold on the strange rod. You pack the vessel away. Yeah, let's just cause some chaos to give us a bit of
I fear this shall only prolong their suffering.
Drowning them would not be a good way to kill them. That would be a slow death to give them. I mean, if I could just cut their throats, that'd be nice. But I'm not going to drown them. That is an awful way to go. I mean, do you know how much you'd suffer drowning? Drowning is not quick. It's a terrible thing to do to a person. Okay, so now we need to go through this door, which we have the thingamajigger for. That's a big skull up there.
A goddess who buys faith by hiding secrets is sure to have a few of her own. We should not be surprised.
That's a really big skull. Lodged between the rows of crystalline rock, a large fragment of metal protrudes. It looks as though it might be possible to pry it loose. Pull out the metal fragment. At your touch, the splinter of metal begins to glow orange. Heat surges up your hands and arms and envelops you with such intensity you feel as though you're melting down. The heat spreads to the world around you, turns orange and then yellow and then white. The ground, the sky, everything around you drips in molten globs and begins to take shape beneath you as if an invisible mould. You and the shard are the last things to melt and fall, and your addition to the melting molten pool completes the shape of an immense hammer. The metal cools as quickly as it had heated. The handle is gripped now by two great leathery hands, and the hammer is cocked back over the shoulder as broad as mottled as a hilltop. The wielder whirls around and heaves the hammer, and you are flying upward for what seems like ages into the airless blackness above you. As you spin, you catch glimpses of rock large enough to be a moon. It is close, far too close to the world. The force of the impact shatters the hammer and stone alike. The rock is redirected outward, but a section of the front face is cleaved off and begins to fall, splintering apart at the cracks. As 100,000 fragments blossom outward in all directions, debris showers the atmosphere, trailing smoke and fire. Below, land and sea are far off, but gradually rising up. Look to the land. Features are becoming clearer by the moment. As you streak towards the earth, you are lodged in an enormous boulder, falling among the other smaller fragments that heat and burst around you all sides. Beneath you, snow-capped mountains rise up, dotted here and there by cities of stone and Adra. The impact will be the destruction of them all. The largest of the fragments, as wide as a city, barrels down towards it in a fiery cocoon. Its size reduces as the edges emulate, but it won't burn up in time. It lands silently in a distant ocean, sending the cold water skyward in radiating ripples that spread like wrinkles in the fabric. Then the sound comes tearing up through the sky. It sounds like thunder. The shadow of your rock fragment is visible now, getting larger by the second. You're moments away from striking the ground when a massive shape throws itself in your path. The last thing you hear sounds like another rumbling impact, but it wasn't. It's a chuckle, relieved, breathless. You hear 2 words, made it. Everything goes dark. You open your eyes, the metal hammer fragment has come free, and you now hold it in your hands. It's warm to the touch. The air around you is suddenly turbulent, spiteful. A cold, damp wind whips your face. Salt crystals collect in your nostrils and the creases of your eyes. The floor below you becomes blue, grey and glassy, churning and rolling, and when you fall, you crash through water. Violent waves hurl and spin upon you. Something slurs around your ankle and seizes you with incredible strength, drags you down to the salty depths. When the pulling stops, you're hovering at the centre of an endless blue abyss. You can see neither surface nor floor. You seem to be facing downwards, but there's no way to be sure. A voice sounds from everywhere at once, and an immense pressure wave of each utterance sends you reeling.
Deceitful wretch! Grave robber! You who dig for that which you did not bury, speak! Explain yourself and be judged!
You call wretch, wench. I mean no harm, I came in search of answers.
You seek what is mine! What was rightfully lost! Your actions speak for themselves. The battery opened. The forge ignited. You set free souls that hid from me. That stole from me and evaded my judgment. The dwarves sealed their own fate. The forge was meant to be forgotten. And now, here you are again, denying peace to the buried.
The turbulence around you calms, silt settles like a slow exhalation, and the vast dark seascape beyond the murk fades in. Rays of light trickle down from far above onto green gold columns of kelp that rise from the depths and sway back and forth in the current. Fish and mollusks patrol them in groups of hundreds and thousands. The nearest pass you with watchful eyes. What are the bones of one god doing sealed in the temple of another? Yeah, what are the bones of one god doing sealed in the temple of another?
Do not play coy with a god, Watcher. I know you have seen his death. I feel it whenever a forgotten thing is taken from me. Abydon did not deserve to die here. This place, it was the least I could do to give his remains some privacy.
The least you could do?
The least I could do for ending his life.
Light drains from your surroundings. The kelp forest becomes a corpse of black tendrils, stark and twisted as regret.
I called the moon down to me, Ioni brother. It was against his wishes. He would not listen to reason, would not listen to me. In his madness, he splintered the moon, but it was not enough. The greatest of the fragments still fell toward that which he would protect. In the end, he took position where it would fall, and absorbed the impact himself.
I thought Bilafa and Caldwell had the moons.
Ioni brother is their smaller sibling, tiny next to them.
Small enough that the world would survive its impact. But why the temple? Why the secrecy? You make it sound as though you were saying one. No, let's just ask the question. Why the temple? Why the secrecy?
That time has been forgotten now. And so his death belongs to me. Everything he was before the impact.
But you slew another god. Surely the other gods know this. Surely Abaddon must know. Current surges through the kelp bed, pushing each plant sideways like saplings in a hurricane and propelling you backwards amidst a torrent of wayward fish.
No! He cannot know! He must never know! Understand, he was not always as he is now. His body was not all he left behind. He was devoted to progress and industry from the beginning. but so too was he devoted to preservation. In those times he would let nothing go. Nothing could be forgotten. His will was iron long before his body.
What was he trying to preserve?
Time has finished much of what I started. I cannot tell you that, mortal, for fear of undoing all its costly work.
So that's why he went so far to oppose you, because he wanted preservation.
We agreed long ago, all of us, not to alter the course of Kith's civilization. Not directly. Not unless there were no other choice. But in this matter, there was no other choice. He understood that as well as anyone. It was for duty that he opposed it. I would have stopped it if I could, but by then it was too late.
I'm not going to accuse me of insane. I want to ask you something else.
You may ask.
What do you mean the Forge is meant to be forgotten?
It was never meant for mortal use. Such power, such truths lie within it. It can bring only ruin.
So why not talk to me before I activated it?
When the Pargrunin came to the White March, they were peaceful. They shared common beliefs and purpose. Their visions for the Forge tore them apart. You have seen this for yourself. They would have destroyed themselves in the end.
Well, it's convenient we'll never know. You should have let them at least go and destroy themselves if that's the case, and let themselves forget by destroying themselves and losing the knowledge.
You need only look to the history of your own civilization for assurance.
What ones? You mean the ones that you used to be part of? You know, the civilization we both came from? Or when I was in my past life, or the one now with Orleans?
How many wars, how many fallen empires might have been averted if only their leaders could forget the objects of their ambition? I mourned the loss of the Pargrunin. Misfortune brought them here. They did not deserve to end so soon.
Yes, so what does it matter if something's remembered or forgotten? It's in the past, either case.
Memories are the spirits of the past. You of all people should know their sway on the present, Watcher.
I'm perfectly saying, no I'm not. Perhaps more than I care to admit.
Mortals measure the worth of their lives in memory. Who will remember me? How long until I am forgotten? Memory governs every thought, informs every choice. It can fuel passion, understanding, love, or it can create obsession, madness. You have seen it plague many souls in your travels. Consider the old Watcher who inherited unspeakable crimes from birth. Or the fisherman whose life became a sentence the day he killed his sister. Or the Glonfathen boy for whom an old medallion was worth more than all the fruits of his labors. Or the villager whose guilt led him down into a temple in search of the priests he condemned with his silence.
These are the people I've met along the way that I have done actions for that she could use.
They could be free from their burdens, if only they could forget.
Their burdens exist for a reason. Why should they be allowed to forget?
Many such people gain these burdens through no fault of their own. Others act to redeem themselves only to find their memories will not forgive them.
I have a feeling she'll reference in every single person I've done where my actions could be used in her purpose. Light filtering down from the surface seems to focus on Maneha.
You cast your troubling memories aside when you had the opportunity, and you have found the peace you sought.
It's funny.
I remember feeling bad, but I don't remember why. It's like having scars for wounds you don't remember. As long as they don't reopen one day, I can live with that.
The source of those wounds is long gone. The memory was all that could do you harm.
There was value in memory despite the harm.
Even when problems have run their course, memory can be the stone that sinks you into the abyss.
Be that as it may, I must reject your moral paradigm because it engenders an incomplete conception of the good that fails to consider the importance of testing the soul.
Indeed. And what has led you to conclude you know better than a god, mortal?
You're not a god, you're a person too. I knew you in life when I was having a Griffin. Anyway, your superstition that peace of mind is a tantamount to the overall good is a flawed premise. Empirically, we know that struggle and inner turmoil strengthen the soul as often as they strangle it.
That hardly sounds like an improvement on inner peace. Is that the extent of your argument?
Fucking hell, my intellect's off the chart, Melissa. Don't you challenge it. I got 20 intellect and just you throw all your intellect challenges at me. Anyway, no, actually, I submit to you that life is a framework to test the soul, and that the untested soul withers from disuse. Consequently, it's better to test the soul in order that it should thrive. If it breaks, it's no worse off than it was not tested at all.
There may be hope for you yet, Watcher.
Yes, the Jude's turtles into that one. The god of testing and trials. The priest of the god of testing and trials just times in. Yep.
Your reasoning is interesting, mortal. Perhaps there is something to it. But it is not my will to simply do good. Those broken souls that fail your test, those are the ones I love most, for no other god will have them. What small mercies they ask of me, I will always grant. Was there something else, mortal?
Why did you pull down Iona, Brafia?
The great conundrum of a god is how close to become with your subjects. Too far and they lose hope. Too close and your own judgment fails. Civilizations are meant to ebb and flow. Allow them to persist for too long in power or knowledge, and you invite catastrophe. There was a time when we let our sympathies get the better of us, when memories were allowed to persist that should have been washed away. The other gods could not be moved to act. I did what had to be done without them.
You're talking about the Griffins.
I speak of what is forgotten. I failed that day, but my purpose was achieved in the end. I will not dredge up the memory to satisfy idle curiosity.
The army that destroyed the dwarfs, the Eyeless, are they yours?
What the world casts aside, I take into my care. A thing may be forgotten, but it is never alone as long as I am here. They were lost children, abandoned, fixed on a purpose that no longer had meaning. I took them in, gave them new purpose. I did not create them, but yes, they are mine.
They are Abaddon's then, I saw them forged.
They were his once, I won't deny it. He created them as assistants to carry out his work on Eora. But he has long been the overseer of progress in the world. Leaving things behind has always been his way. I allow him to leave his past in my care, so that it does not hold him back.
So you and Abaddon have a neat connection then.
I suppose we do. But then, the gods have always been able to accomplish far greater things when working together.
Something else to ask about the Eyeless?
Speak your mind.
You haven't given the whole truth about the Eyeless, have you?
Careful what you accuse a god of, mortal.
Abaddon didn't abandon those creatures. You made him forget them. Otherwise he might remember how he died.
And what if I did, mortal? It does him no harm to forget. On the contrary, it lifts a burden. If Abaddon remembered, it would threaten the harmony between the gods. It was not so long ago that conflict between us led to disaster in your world, and the death of one of our number. Memory is but an image we create to make sense of the present. It carries no truth or meaning but what we ascribe. A slight alteration to it is a small price to pay for peace.
It's wrong to deceive him. I expected better from a god.
Memory deceives. It distorts. It reimagines. This is no different. The peace between the gods is already fragile. It will not withstand another shock.
Okay, something else?
Speak your mind.
What new purpose did you give them?
Some things that are forgotten must never be remembered. Not merely for the benefit of those who forgot, but for the entire world. There can be no second thoughts, no sympathy or stays of execution. The Eyeless were born to fulfill this task, though even their creator did not know it. They are single-minded and relentless.
You mean they kill those who remember what you want forgotten?
They do not flinch when called upon to do what is necessary. Kith owe them a great debt for the troubles they have hidden away.
I want to ask you something else.
You may ask.
Can you call off Eyeless?
On the contrary, mortal, their work must continue. Far too much was uncovered while they lay dormant.
They draw attention to the very things you wish hidden. In my dreams I have seen them swarming over the Deerwood.
Those who know too much of the White Forge will be washed clean from Eora, and then the Eyeless shall rest once more.
This isn't some lone tribe of dwarves. The Forge sees visitors from all over now. The Eyeless will tear the Deerwood apart. It will never be forgotten. The sea life around you stirs back and forth, agitated, restless.
Even if it is as you say, there is nothing that can be done. The Eyeless do not think for themselves. They have only the purpose that is given to them. They do not stop until the purpose is fulfilled. They will not change course now for me or anyone. I am sorry.
Kyoto said that they could be called off.
Only if those they pursue are no longer a threat. The Raid Serens were stopped before they could take the White Forge. In your case, Watcher, you are well beyond that now. And if what you say is true, then the Deerwood is as well.
Well, you started Eyeless. You have a duty to stop them.
The interventions of gods seldom work out in anyone's favor. Our touch is too heavy. The world crumbles beneath it. It is why we so often enlist the help of mortals. They execute our wishes with greater care. I have done far too much already.
Well, if you can't stop them, I'll do my best to.
Your determination is commendable. But the Eyeless number in the thousands. You will need more than strength or luck.
It may cost my life, but I'll do what I must. See, that's what I say before. If you have to do sacrifice, I'm not sacrificing others. I would rather sacrifice myself. If you talk about sacrifice, you should be the first to step up to sacrifice. So that may cost me my life, but I'll do what I must.
I will give you what aid I can. I bade the Eyeless to remain hidden when at rest. They are gathered in the hollow of a great rock, splintered from Ione Brother. It lies in a flooded crater known as Kairon's Scar. Know too that they were built to answer the call of their master's hammer. When they hear it strike, they come to its aid. If you were to take that piece of his hammer from here and reshape it in Abaddon's forge into a likeness of the original, you might be able to call them to you. but destroying them would be another matter. I know of one way, but only from the center of the Lion's Den. Only with their master's hammer in your service. If you can do all this, if you can reshape what remains of Abaddon's hammer and bring it inside their lair, I can instruct you there on what you would need to do.
I'll do what I can then.
And I will see you through when the time comes.
Right, I'll make the hammer in the White Forge and stop the Eyeless.
If you do not, be assured, they will come for you as they did for the Pargrunen.
What are you? Oh, you got a rawhide stick, never mind.
Careful as you approach the lake. When I claimed the Eyeless, I made sure they would not be discovered while they slept. Many of my most devoted followers stand watch there. They will not allow you near.
Can't you just say, let him through?
And there is something far worse. Something more fearsome and dangerous than any Eyeless. Let us hope you do not attract its attention.
What is it? In place of an answer, a sudden surge in the current from beneath sends you hurtling upwards. The surface above you approaches fast, shifting and glimmering like quicksilver. You emerge soaking away onto the stone floor of the Ricklaway, and grasping for breath as if you've been holding for hours. The Coal Eater added, oh goody. Seville! Oh, this is a major item, and a grand item, oh goody. 5 turns. Something is awakened in the Black Hills of Abbott, a great and terrible titan that rises up from beneath the ground to devour coal mines and destroy its workers as it passes. Even sailors coming near Abbott from Deadfire Archipelago have seen the behemoth walking along the screaming cliffs. No one's certain where the creature comes from or what will stop terrorising the Black Hills, but the ruined families of Abbott seem uninterested in intervening directly. Okay, we will send... Devil, you're done. Maneha's done. Canna's done. So we can send one of them. Devil. Someone who doesn't breathe against a coal machine. Yes, that'll do. Just pretend let it go through and don't fucking accidentally. I think everybody has some form of oh, wrong button. Seville, could you stop being a pesty? Right, so next episode we're going to find out where all these staircases lead, and I'm going to try and get Maneha out and Zaram in so we can get his quest done. Because they're the only ones left I can... Oh, Riva Mama's leveled up. I'll have 13 in the next level, that'll give me 1 to spend on something else. Reaping Knives. Defensive Wide Map. Okay, that's... I get both skills.